How are we doing today, ladies and gentlemen? I thought it was appropriate to go over these rules to kind of revamp the original video that I did on this as well, and to further explain some things. And even more so, these are all statements, and they're all matter of fact. And naturally, these statements spawn the question of why. Why, right? And now these simple 6 rules is something I use in all the presentments I'm going to be dealing with. But starting from the top, okay, rule number 1, there is no money. There is no money. There has not been any money since 1933, okay? And we can even go further and say, why? Why is there no money? And put simply, Article 1, Section 10 of the Constitution tells us, right in the middle there, no state shall have the ability to make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts. Alright, we have not had gold and silver for a very long time. The Emergency Banking Act of 1933 discusses this. House Joint Resolution 192 also speaks on this. Chapter 48, Statute 112 also speaks on this. Alright, there is no money, and there has not been for a long time. The only thing we have in place of it is negotiable instruments and promissory notes. Okay, I've discussed these things before, and we'll continue to explain that your signature creates money. Okay, rule number 2, always act in honor. This is a moral standing, of course. First and foremost, it is a moral place. To act in honor and do unto others as you would have done unto you. Okay, even if you know these things very well, and some of you do, you can't walk around and kind of be rude to people or be mean to people, etc. You want to be able to act in honor when you're dealing with people in general and the court systems, of course. Because some of these people have chosen not to understand any of this or overstand any of it. And it is not your place to walk around with a club and beat them over the head and teach them what they're doing, okay? So act in honor, and of course, you always want to treat people with respect as you're going through this process, as it is a bit different, almost entirely different than the way we were taught, the way it really operates. Okay, rule number 3 is I am the creditor. You're going to be reading a lot of different things, a lot of different acts, a lot of different pieces of law that talk about the creditor. And you need to always remember that no matter what the definition is associated with it, you are the creditor. The living being is the creditor. The living being is the one who offers an extension of credit. Okay? In any and all places, you are the creditor. Now, there might be distinctions and determinations of different ways and things, but when it comes down to it, you are the creditor. Okay? As a matter of fact, let's even go into Cornell Law, which is a great resource. I highly recommend checking out Cornell Law. It's just very neat and clean. But 12 U.S.C. 83 tells us about loans by bank on its own stock. And then subsection A tells us the general prohibition is that no national bank shall make any loan or discount on the security of the shares of its own capital stock. So again, we're taking a look at this thing. When people get loans from banks, you're not borrowing money from this bank. You are the creditor. Okay? You are the creditor of this obligation, and you are the one who created it. Your existence is what makes it happen. Okay? Rule number 4. Whatever is not asserted is assumed. So, there are a lot of presumptions of law. There are a lot of presumptions in general, in a lot of life. And so whatever you don't assert right out the gate is assumed. Now, you want to be clear and concise, but you can also even place your own definitions of words and terms. In the on the record for a court system, you might be able to determine these things right out the gate. Place a series of definitions. And you can remove some of the presumptions of law by doing this. Rule number 5 is that public and private don't mix. There is the public world and there's the private world, and they do not intermingle. They do not work together. And there's a lot more to that one in particular, but I'll leave it simply just saying public and private don't mix. Okay, if you're playing chess, then your bishop, the black pieces of the bishop don't operate on the white piece of the chessboard. Okay, and the white bishop does not operate on the black pieces of the chessboard. They don't mix. These characters cannot move intermittently in between them. Rule number 6: in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. So you will be reading a crazy amount of information if you're into this. Now there's a whole law library for the amount of crap that is thrown together. And there's an obscene amount of words to read with your 2 eyes, but when you are reading this information, you want to use your one eye, your third eye. Alright, you want to use your pineal gland to help you see the direction you need to be taking. Don't let the 2 eyes that are reading this paperwork put things together. Let your third eye do it. Because it, without a doubt, knows more than you ever possibly could, right? They say, one man knows many things, but many men know all things. Okay, and of course that's not say any man or woman, by all means. But of course, that being said, if you're using your third eye to read these things, you're tapping into a level of emotional intelligence and into the sea of the collective consciousness. If you're only using your 2 eyes, and you're only allowing that egocentric captain, the captain of your own vessel, to read. You're not allowing the depths of your own mind to read. Now, there's a lot more to this, but these are the general rules that I think are worth sticking by. There is no money. Always act in honor. I am the creditor. Whatever is not asserted is assumed. Public and private don't mix. And in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. So, kings and queens, y'all have a beautiful day. Peace and blessings.